Guys, welcome back to No Barriers Growth. Now we're here again, guys, and I'm going to be showing you an amazing factory called Million. So as so many of you guys have asked me, I want to start my own fashion brand, or I want to private label my items. This is the place for you. Now Million, guys, own a huge factory. I'm going to be showing you the process today. But if you are somebody who wants to start a fashion brand and you're unsure where to start, as I mentioned, guys, Istanbul is the place. Million, guys, they have very fashion forward pieces. So let's say, for example, guys, you wanted to create a design from scratch, or there is an item you already like. So for example, guys, let's say you wanted a blazer. This is the blazer you wanted, or maybe you wanted, for example, a pair of trousers, and you basically were inspired by this design, but maybe you wanted something similar but wanted to change the design, or you had no idea how to start and therefore bought your own piece to kind of show. Million can basically do this for you. But the best thing about it, guys, is that they have a whole production system. So the kind of process would start, guys, is you would literally get in contact with the factory directly. And the reason you do that, guys, because some factories have different materials, some can do different products. So for example, as you can see here, this is their spring summer collections. But if you wanted to start from scratch, guys, you would literally make contact with them, you'd book an appointment, and this is basically where the magic happens. Should you come into this office, guys, you'll speak to the boss and either show him a sketch, tell him your ideas, or if you want to, guys, you can bring a similar styled item and they'll be able to kind of sketch that for you too. Now, of course, guys, after that process, after kind of the communication and kind of discussing what you want, you'll then go on to pick your fabrics. So maybe, guys, you like this particular fabric, but you actually want it in a different color or a different material. They will basically go through all the fabrics. As you can see here, they have so many of them, guys, but you can pick from different fabrics, different styles, guys, and that would basically be the process. So this is the beginning process, guys. If you want to start from scratch, if you are a fashion brand and you're looking to basically design from scratch, or you see items in the wholesalers you like and you want to kind of edit them a bit or kind of add your own style, for example, you can do that. Maybe you want blue and red, maybe you want orange and white. You can completely change the style. Showing you guys a sneak peek, but these are some customer orders. So these are people who have come or flown in, they want to design their own items from scratch, or they want to expand on their ranges. And yes, guys, as you can see, you can add your own label. So yes, if you do want to add your own label, it's called private label, you can do that. But of course, they also have kind of similar style labels too, so they can create your own ones, guys, if you want. So from the tags to the labels, they can do that for you too as well. So guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you around the factory. I'm going to show you the process of basically starting your idea, or having an idea or design, and then expanding on that, or literally seeing or buying from wholesalers and expanding on that too. As I mentioned, guys, Million also have one of the leading fashion wholesalers here from blazers. It's in the next video I'm going to be showing you guys. But as I mentioned, if you are looking to start, it just basically starts from this room, from picking your fabrics, picking your styles, picking the designs, zippers, and as I mentioned, guys, they have hundreds and hundreds of different materials. So come with me, guys, and I'm going to kind of show you the process of how starting your fashion brand from scratch works. So guys, I'm going to be showing you the whole process of kind of starting your fashion brand from scratch. As I mentioned, guys, these are some of the pieces ready to go to the manufacturer to start designing. But I'm going to show you guys kind of like how to start from the design team. So you have this idea, you've had your consultation, you've gone and seen the fabrics, you know what you want. And here, guys, is where you're going to start coming to this team who will actually sketch and design your pieces. So basically, guys, where the magic happens. So as you guys can see here, this is basically where your items are going to be sketched. So if you don't have sketches already, maybe you're unsure of where to start, or you don't kind of know how to sketch or find someone who can sketch your designs, this is basically where it starts. This stage, guys, of the pattern making process is called CAD design. Now, for all those who are completely new to the world of manufacturing, CAD design stands for computer aided design. It's basically an essential tool for pattern making and grading of patterns and digitalizing manual patterns. There are a wide selection, guys, of CAD software. I think the newest one is like the 2D one, the 2D 3D model, which is Opitex. Probably said that wrong, I'll put a links. But basically, think of the human body. It's like a 3D body, and these are flat pattern designs. So we're now basically going to construct these so that it basically eliminates a lot of problems and headaches when it comes into garment making. Now, as I mentioned, guys, there's so much development when it comes to pre-production. So this is basically pattern making, grading, and developing a first fit pattern for this particular product. And as I mentioned, guys, when it comes to manufacturing, there's the pre-production process, production planning, cutting process, manufacturing and quality control, and then the delivery. So today I'm basically showing you the pre-production. The beginning stages, guys, of starting. Thank you so much for showing me.
Çok teşekkürler, sağ olun. Teşekkür ederiz. Kolay gelsin.
So you guys have just seen how the process works. So as I mentioned, guys, if you don't have someone who can design or sketch, yes, the factories have a team of people who will design your items. And let's say, for example, guys, you wanted something similar, of, you know, fresh off the catwalk. You wanted this kind of design, but maybe more figure hugging. So once they sketch those designs for you guys, and then we go and source the material, we'll then come to this view. For example, they're actually cutting these pieces, they're actually creating this item. So you have the fabric you want, you have the design, and now, guys, they're actually making the first sample pieces for you. And this is why, guys, sampling can take a while. I'll do a voiceover so you guys can hear me, but I hope you guys get a general idea of just how complex it is when it comes to actually creating or launching your own brand. There's so many processes behind it. Having an idea and then putting that idea onto paper and then transforming that idea, guys, into a functional garment, it's not easy. It's going to require capital because there's so many processes behind it. You cannot rush the manufacturing processes. I can always identify founders who don't know what they're doing because they don't even spend time cross-examining manufacturers. I think people have this idea that I can work with any manufacturer. No, you cannot. You have to work with manufacturers that are catering or focused on your particular garment. And there's so many stages. So this right here, guys, after the cutting is done, they're going to in-house, they will basically sew all the components together, and this will serve as a sample. So this here, guys, is the blazer, and what they'll do in-house, guys, is they'll sew the components together, and then after that they'll then go into the fit session, because remember, guys, different retailers and fashion brands have different size grading. It's a long process, guys, but I'm trying to simplify it as easy as possible for you guys to understand. One thing, guys, I like about this particular factory, Million, guys, they are perfectionists. If a model has been created, guys, and it's not up to their standards, they will continue to repeat that and keep working on it, guys, until it is exactly how you like it. So you don't have to worry, guys, about kind of quality control or quality check here, guys, because these people will work on this over and over and over and over again, guys, until it is suited to the customer. You guys can see here, this particular garment is now constructed. So after the cutting stage, they've now sewn all the components together to create a pre-production sample. And a pre-production sample, guys, is a great way to basically test the design, fit, construction, the quality of the actual apparel. Now, every production hub or manufacturer you're working with should be doing this, and this is when it gets a little bit expensive because you have to make sure you're getting samples sent to you or done. You need to get this done, guys, because if you don't, you're going to get a lot of people complaining about the fit of your brand. After the pre-production samples done, they then have fit sessions. Some factories will do it on mannequins, but in this day and age, people use fit models, and they'll call in some fit models and they'll try on the garment or the particular item, guys, and then they'll get some feedback. So if anything's wrong, maybe the fit is too tight or the material isn't feeling great, it's itchy on the skin. It could be anything from basically the item being really, really tight, the inseam just being all sorts of wrong. But in other words, they'll keep going back to the drawing board and tech pack and creating the samples until they get it right. Once the fit session is done and you finally approve of the product, then, guys, you give the manufacturer or your production hub that green light to now start creating your garments. And what will happen is they'll start doing the pattern cutting process, but in bigger quantities. So what I showed you in the beginning was basically them doing the cutting process for the pre-production sample. But now that we've given them the green light, they'll now go into actual pattern cutting. For the most part, you'll use a machine. This is a wholesaler, guys, so they're doing huger quantities in comparison to a retailer. And then guys, after that, after the cutting of the fabric, they then go into garment production, where basically guys, they'll send this to a manufacturer and get all the components stitched together. And this is basically where you can start figuring out the ethical and sustainability practices. So again, make sure you're working with a factory that is paying their workers a fair wage for basically putting all these components together. And the factory should be very transparent. You should actually be able to visit the factories and look at their supply chain. I'm not going to go too much into sustainability and ethical practices, guys, because that's a whole video for a whole different day. And I'm only showing you basically that the pre-production side. But as you guys can see here, these components, this is the blazer and also the matching shorts. And because this is for a wholesaler, this is based upon series. So as you guys can see here, this is the picture. This is the sample picture of the model wearing it. And basically here, that's the jacket. And then there is the matching blazer. And because they are a wholesaler, guys, they're doing bigger quantities. So here, guys, is the actual products when they've been finished and they're cut. You can see size 34, 36, 38. And as I mentioned, guys, once this is done, there's different colors, there's different patterns. They will then send this to the factory to put all the components together. For those who are doing more haute couture and hand design items, guys, they can tend to do this in-house. But yeah, guys, that's basically the whole process. And then for those asking about labels, so can they also add your own labels? Yes, your manufacturer will also add your own labels and your clothing tags. And again, guys, this will all be factored in when it comes to your cost price. So when you are screening manufacturers, they will give you the price that will include the clothing tags, the inseam labels, all that kind of stuff when it comes to manufacturing. And that's basically how you're able to get a more general understanding of how much it costs to produce a product. But again, guys, Millions also offer private label for people buying wholesale. So if you're buying wholesale from Turkey and you want to remove the label, then you can also come to this production hub, because they can also provide private label for your garments and also your retail items. So guys, that's basically how the production works. You can see here it's all boxed up and ready to go. But these guys are all ready to go. So they're now going to go to like the mass production, go to the factories, and basically all these items are going to be stitched and assembled together, ready basically to be shipped to you guys. I hope you guys found this video really informative, because I know so many of you guys have said we've passed the wholesale part now. What happens if I see an item in a wholesale I want to kind of customize, or I want to actually design my item from scratch? As you guys can see here, it's a very transparent supply chain management. They're very ethical and sustainable. But more importantly, guys, it's not as hard or kind of worrying or scary as it seems, guys. The moment you kind of connect to the factories, they know what they need to do. They'll be able to help you for sourcing needs and also finding the right materials and styles. That's it, guys, for this week's video. I hope you guys found it really informative, and you now know or get a rough idea of kind of how to start your own fashion brand and the process. That's it, guys, for this week's video. I hope you guys find it really informative. All the information about this amazing factory will be below, and I'll see you next week, guys, with more factory information. That's another manufacturing video, live and direct from Istanbul. Thank you, Million, for the amazing behind the scenes and allowing us to show our amazing subscribers just the processes of launching a fashion brand and the production process. If you require more information, guys, about manufacturing, how to vet manufacturers and screen them, we have so many free blogs on the NBG website where we give you more information and just top tips on just things to avoid, things to vet, things to look out for when you're manufacturing. But again, I know so many of you guys want us to talk more about the manufacturing than the wholesale, because remember, guys, not everybody wants to buy wholesale. Some people actually want to launch their brands from scratch. And yes, long term, it does end up working out to be a bit cheaper. But just bear in mind, when you are manufacturing, guys, they're going to have MOQs. So just take that into consideration. But guys, I think that's it. I think we're coming towards the end of our Turkey wholesale / manufacturing series. I hope you guys have found these videos really informative. As many of you guys know, we are working on a very secret project called sourcetop10.com. It's going to be one of the best B2B platforms to hit Turkey. I mean, guys, we are completely revolutionizing how to buy from Turkey. No more middleman, No more having to use somebody to go and source your products. Our online platform will connect you to the vendors and you'll be able to buy everything all under one roof. As I mentioned, guys, we also have our infamous membership channel, guys, that will be launching next week, where we're going to have just a more community-based, centered or focused group of people on our subscription feed. And I'll talk more about that in the next video. Take care, y'all.